Why is it, when you say the word dad, what the world actually hears is a joke? Dad dancing, dad fashion, dad's army. Why even that three-letter word is so universally known and used? Why does it come with a punchline instead of a sense of pride? Because here's the thing, while you're all busy laughing, 84 men will have taken their lives every single week in this country. And that's a horrifying statistic, isn't it? But it's not a statistic. Somebody's mate, somebody's brother, somebody's dad. It could be your mate, your brother, your uncle, your community left with another gaping hole in it where people stood around going, why didn't we see the signs? When I was that kid up there, it was really easy to make friends. All I'd have to do is wander around the playground going, who wants to play football? No girls. And immediately I'd have a gang to back me up. But now I'm older than my dad is there, and I've got a son older than I was. And what I realised, it wasn't always that easy. When I was around 6, my parents divorced, and due to, unfortunately, my lovely mum, hello mum, her ill health, my dad was awarded custody of me and my 3 sisters. And back in the 1980s, that was completely unheard of. But do you know what my dad did? He worked full-time, he ran a business, he raised 4 kids. But not once did he actually talk about his feelings. I can see the world through very different eyes now. You know, I can see the loneliness that he must have felt. There was nobody popping round to saying, hey, how you doing? Or what's it like being the only dad on the playground? Or how do you manage getting 4 kids round Sainsbury's on a Saturday to do your big shop? But then, why would they? Men like my dad weren't built that way. You know, he was happy with a pint in one hand, talking about the football. Because, you know, we're blokes. We don't talk about feelings, do we? And if I'm honest, I think for a very, very long time, I inherited that. You know, it's much easier to make a joke than want to put your hand up and be vulnerable and ask for help. So, fast forward 30 years, when I became a dad myself, you know, there's still no support there for dads. There's no rule book, there's no guidebook. When I would take my son out, you know, strangers would come up and go, oh, you're a good boy for babysitting, aren't you? Go, yeah. Babysitting for my own actual child. You know, or if I dared to go to a mother and baby group, I'd be stuck in the corner on my own, or asked, what was I doing there? You know, didn't I have a proper job? It made me really, really sad and really, really lonely. Then that loneliness, that turned to anger, because I realised that even after all these years, my dad's world hadn't changed that much. So what did I do about it? I did what any angry, frustrated man of my age would do. I wrote a blog. Yeah. Not exactly revolutionary, I get it. Just me ranting out into the void. But what I realised, it wasn't just my problem. It was our problem. People responded. Now, 7 years down the line, we've got a community of dadless oldies that goes from Brighton to New York to the Maori community in New Zealand. We've done, I think, 500 play dates with over 12,000 people. And somehow, I think I've kind of revolutionised the way of outdated ideas of group therapy. So let me explain. Yeah, if I put a poster up and said, hello, middle-aged men, come over here and talk about your feelings. Yeah, Dan, that sounds like a terrible night out. You're on your own. But if I say, come over here, let's learn some bushcraft, let's do a DJ workshop or stand-up comedy or sea swimming or pub quizzing, they go, oh, we'll fancy that. So they come for the fun, but actually what they leave with is a ready-made support network. You know, as I mentioned, it's hard being a bloke sometimes. So you want to know that if you put your hand up and ask for help, people are going to hear you. You know, if you put that bat signal out into the world, you know people have got your back. Take a look at this photograph. Your first thought might be, wow, you know, that's a lot of happy dads and kids. And you'd be right. But I see my community. I see the dads that are happily married. I'll see the co-parents, the step-parents, the stay-at-home dads. I'll see the dad who has missed another bedtime because he's got to work just to pay the bills and he feels so bloody guilty about it. I see the dad that's promised faithfully not to look at his work emails on that family holiday, but he's failed. I'll see the dad that spent over £100,000 fighting an outdated court system just to see his kids. Then I'll see the gay dad who's adopted and is constantly batting off, snide comments that his kids will suffer because they don't have a mum. I'll see the homeless dad living in temporary accommodation, that if Dadless Old doesn't exist, they've got nowhere to take their kids. And then what I really see, when I really look at this, I see the dads that you think have probably got it all together. Until you really ask, and they tell you they don't know how they're going to carry on. So here's the thing. I'd like you to imagine a world where the next time you hear somebody say the words daddy daycare, you pull them up, you say, no, actually it's parenting. No more, no less. Or the next time you hear about a dad being lonely, you send him our way. But this is part of the world that I'm building, but I cannot build this on my own. So what I ask from all of you is to paraphrase the words of the late, great godfather of soul, Mr. James Brown. Say it once, say it loud, I'm dad and I'm proud. Now, you don't have to be a dad to join in. You just need to give a shit. So please, 1, 2, 3, say it once, say it loud, I'm dad and I'm proud. That works so much better than I thought it would. You've been amazing. Thank you.